I do need to talk about one concept that is in the book in order for you to understand why making myself a pot of tea mattered to me tonight. This is my tea cart. I haven't touched it in 9 months, probably. I mean, I haven't even dusted it. But tonight, I think I want some tea. Watching that tomorrow. But in essence, it means that my teapot is clean. I'm here to start to introduce my Book of Days. This is my Book of Days, right here. It is my heart child. It is the piece of work for Bit of Witchy Books that I've put everything into. It's what inspired me to start the business. It is not my bestseller. And I don't expect it ever will be my bestseller because there's a lot. And as I was trying to conceptualize tonight's video, I realized it's going to take a while to explain it in this format. Now, that said, you buy one book, you read the book, you'll get it. But I can't cover it all in, a 15-minute video. I do need to talk about one concept that is in the book in order for you to understand why making myself a pot of tea mattered to me tonight. So that concept is the well. The well as an idea is not original to me. In fact, I think the first time I ever ran into it was in Julia Cameron's work in the book The Artist's Way, which is a wonderful book. I recommend it. You do not have to be a writer or an artist in order to get something out of it. In her case, that is what she is primarily writing about. And she talks about the well as something that's sort of a container for life energy. And mostly she explains it as something that you fill up by doing artist dates. And I love the concept of artist dates. But I think that everybody has a well. And I think that everybody needs to be aware of how their well is. Is it empty? Is it full? Is it somewhere in between? At any given moment, you're either putting energy into the well or taking it out. Taking it out looks like getting yourself to get up and go to work, or holding your temper when somebody says something that annoys you, or getting through a hard time. You take out of the well. And you fill the well in a lot of different ways. Julia Cameron says a great way to fill the well, especially when you're thinking in terms of artistry, is to take artist dates. You can also fill your well by having big, amazing experiences. Events and things like parties and memories and your first kiss and all of the things that make life worth living. The problem with relying on these big events, on these core memories, is that those kinds of things tend to happen to you. You're thrilled and excited because someone else does something, or because you're exposed to a gorgeous sunset accidentally. Romanticizing life, which is featured in the spring volume of the Book of Days, is about making it happen. Making moments happen that are meant to please you. They don't need to impress anybody else. They might be silly. It might be dancing around the living room to your favorite song from high school, which was, 20 years ago. And in fact, it might be something that would be embarrassing if other people saw you do it. It's a choice you make to delight yourself. And it's personal. And for me, one small way of many ways that I have tried to gather into like a little cache of nuts, like I'm a squirrel. I have this list of things that tend to make me happy. And one of those things is making myself a proper cup of tea, or at least the American version of a proper cup of tea. One in which I, heat water on the stove and then let the tea steep in my little white pot, and then I drink it out of my very pretty cup. This is the only teacup I have, by the way. And I obtained this cup on a Saturday afternoon years ago. When I was having a little bit of an artist date when I went to an antique mall with the intention of buying myself a pretty cup and saucer so that I could drink tea, because I know drinking tea is better for me than guzzling the Diet Pepsi and coffee that I normally drink all day, every day. And the process of buying the cup and having a very large selection of tea and having a pot and having a ritual of how to make my tea, all of that is romanticizing my life. For lots of reasons, over this last year, I haven't spent a lot of time romanticizing my life. And I have to, because my well is really low. And right now I am trying to make things. I'm trying to make books and videos now. And I still have my writing. And I need more in my well. But I don't have the energy right now to have big experiences or to make big experiences happen. That's a funny thing about the well. If it gets too low, you don't have enough energy to get yourself out the door to have a big, exciting adventure. But, you might be able to make yourself a cup of tea. Okay. So it's time to wrap up this video because I think I've made my point, except for to explain that this really was my way to introduce you to the Book of Days, which is one of the books that I publish, and to mention that in the Spring Book of Days, which is currently active right now, spring runs from March 1st to May 31st. So all of the books cover 3 months, and it covers a meteorological season that makes sense to us in the real world. I talk about in the Book of Days how the winter solstice, which falls in December, does not feel like the first day of winter, no matter how often people tell us that December 21st-ish is the first day of winter. It rarely feels like that's the first day of winter. And that applies to all of the solstices and equinoxes. In the Book of Days, the seasons run 3 months at a time, 4 in a year, and right now we're in spring. And in every Book of Days, there's a section that talks specifically about the season that we're in, and it offers you so much stuff, and we'll get into that in other videos. But there's kind of this core structure, and part of that structure includes the domains, and one of the domains is the well. It's kind of the last, or near the end of the domains, where every day you take just a couple seconds, this is not about intensive journaling, to write down a couple things, just words, sentences not required, in each of the domains, including the well. And the well, in this case, it's defined as such in my book. The well is the answer to your version of this question: what most renewed my energy, strength, and will today? And today, on my line, I'll show you a picture here of what the page looks like for the well in any given month. On today's The Well page, I will write that I made myself a cup of tea, and I got through this video, which has been difficult. There's been a lot of takes, and I've been trying to share way too much information in one simple video. But the point is, my book gives you a space to start monitoring the health of your well, among many other things. And the spring volume of this book in the section that is the celebration of this season, talks about romanticizing your life as one very effective way, very intentional way to fill your well. And I think that's a good thing. And I think it's something that everybody should have. And there's a lot of other things I think everybody should have access to. And what I've attempted to do is to put them all into my book. Which, by the way, is currently on sale, because once the season is about halfway over, or a little less than halfway over, I cut the price in half. So that if you're interested and you want to try it out and you don't want to spend the $16 that the book costs, you can spend $8. Means I don't really make a profit on it, but you can try it. You can see if you like it. So that's why I made this video. I hope you have a good rest of your day or a good evening, and I will hopefully see you again next Friday. Just letting you know that on Fridays, I intend to mostly post about what I call the Bit of Witchy lifestyle, which I don't know if I mentioned it. The name of my company is Bit of Witchy, and this is the Bit of Witchy Book of Days. Spring. I have a couple other books out, journal style books. And that sort of thing, the living a seasonally aligned life and taking really good, effective, and personalized for you self-care, making that a priority, that's what Fridays are going to be. Sometimes about this book, sometimes about a different book, sometimes about neither book in particular, but just sort of the idea, the concepts. Those are Fridays. And I also have just an abiding passion for tarot and oracle. And I will try and keep those posts on Tuesdays. Think of it as Tarot Tuesday. And I'm not guaranteeing that there's going to be a tarot post every week, but I am really hoping there's going to be a Friday post every week. So, thank you for sticking with me. If you would be so kind as to like this video, maybe subscribe to my channel, I expect it's going to get a lot better. This is just my second video, and I'll get better. Also, leave me a comment. Let me know what your thoughts are. Ask questions, and we can have a conversation. And if there's more than one of you, maybe you'll have a conversation. I don't know if it's going to be a while. But anyway, like, subscribe, leave a comment. I appreciate you. I appreciate you being here. I appreciate your patience. Have a good night or day. Bye.